I find alcohol fascinating for a number of reasons. Apart from the whole biological background, alcohol is everywhere. And people consider it as safe mostly because it's available everywhere, just like coffee. Difference being, depending on the country, that there's a certain age limit. Funny thing being that on some of the points where people think alcohol is safe, it's actually more dangerous than you would expect. If you, for example, compare it to ecstasy, MDMA, which is a party drug, then actually alcohol is more addictive and more harmful, according to some researchers, than this hardcore drug. On the other hand, some parts where people think alcohol is harmful, for example, in killing brain cells, it's actually not, since alcohol doesn't really kill brain cells. The original research here was done on dead alcoholics, comparing them to normal dead people, looking at their brains, and then comparing whether the one had more or less brain cells. But that didn't account for the fact that the alcoholics were usually lower schooled. And when they compensated for that, actually they found out that there wasn't that much of a difference. But once you make a headline in a newspaper, it's very hard to reverse public opinion. One of the risks that a lot of people worry about is cancer risk, and rightly so, because it turns out that alcohol does increase certain forms of cancer risk. However, it depends on the amount you take and the type of cancer you're looking at. If you look at the first bandwidth of alcohol use, which is in the piece of research that I looked into, a couple of meta-analyses, about 1.25 liters of beer a day, the overall cancer risk is not that much increased. It's like 1% higher. That is, however, on overall cancer risk. If you look at different forms of cancers, there are certain types of cancers that are influenced more by alcohol than others. If, however, you go beyond this 1.25 liters of beer, which is about 25 grams of pure ethanol, so the pure alcohol, the risks increase with all sorts of cancers, except kidney and cervix. Don't ask why. I don't know. And actually, science doesn't know either, at least not that I could find so far. It does, however, also some benefits, or at least reportedly. The thing with a substance like alcohol is there's a lot of different pieces of research claiming a lot of different things. And if you look at the benefits of alcohol, some people say it's good for the cardiovascular system, good psychologically, and even good for longevity, so living longer than you usually would. Now, I found it very important to come back on the dosage of alcohol. So there's a very big difference between usage and abuse. So use and abuse are not the same. And a lot of times when people are linking to studies that show a detrimental effect of alcohol on whatever, they're not talking about alcohol users, they're talking about alcohol abusers. And, that's the difference between drinking a glass of wine at dinner and enjoying it and drinking 2 bottles after dinner and drinking yourself into oblivion, which is a very important point. A problem with a lot of these studies is that they're epidemiological. And that's a very fancy word of saying it's not a controlled study. So you're going to look at people in the wild kind of thing and try and draw conclusions from that. An example of an epidemiological study would be people in the Netherlands eat a lot of cheese. People in the Netherlands are quite white. People in South Africa don't eat a lot of cheese and they are quite black. So eating cheese must make you white. You see how this kind of study doesn't always yield a useful result. Now, of course, I got a very dramatic example here, but these kind of epidemiological studies can never prove one-on-one a correlation. For example, if you find that people who drink red wine live longer, it may very well be that people who drink red wine eat better because they care about food more often. So what I would love to see is a double-blind, placebo-controlled, long-term alcohol study. But the problem is these things are expensive, and they're not going to bring in any money to a company that would sponsor this kind of research. If any of you have seen a piece of research like this, let me know. For now, my advice would just be don't drink too much. Stay under the 2 glasses a day with any type of alcohol. Don't go for the sugary drinks. If you have any sort of medical thing or cancer risk, talk to your doctor. Don't go out and do your own research only, though most definitely do that. And yeah, if you find anything interesting, come back to me. And that would be the end of this video. So if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe, let me know, leave a comment, and have a nice day.